What area of Nashville has one of the highest variety of housing types out of all the 21 areas of Nashville? You're going to be finding out next. I'm so excited today. We're talking about the 21 different areas of Nashville. We're talking about Edgehill. So Edgehill is just such a beautiful little pocket close to Nashville, just minutes away. Huge variety of housing types, wide range of price points. And I don't know of an area of Nashville that takes more pride in where they live. Like, you'll literally see mailboxes that have Edgehill. You'll see these cute little bears, which we're going to show you, all over the place. I mean, I think if it reminds me of anything, it reminds me of Texas. Like, when you go to Texas, you see Texas signs all over the interstate. You see, Texas, proud to be of Texas. Like, people that live in Edgehill, super, super tight community. When they live here, they want you to know about it, and not in a bad way, which shows that if you're moving to the Nashville area, Edgehill should be an area that you consider. And we're gonna talk about all like the pluses and minuses, and we're gonna go over the different price ranges, the different housing types that they've got here, the walkability of the area. I say that different areas are my favorite, but the Edgehill, it's got a special place in my heart, and I'm hoping after this video today that'll have a special place in yours as well. We're here in 21 areas of Nashville. We're talking about Edgehill, and they've got deep roots here. So, I mean, it dates back to the early 1800s. Robert Brownlee Curie was the first owner of land in this area, was the first mayor of this area and postmaster. And then going to the 1860s, this was primarily very much more of an African-American community. You've got sections of houses that were built back then, but really when you start, you get to the third era, which really started in the 1960s, that's when there was a lot of, I wouldn't say conflict, but a lot of gentrification that was taking place and a lot of change that took place. Man, one of the best pizza places, we got to show them this, Bella Napoli, right through here. Fantastic pizza place. But walkability, right? Walkability of the Edgehill area is, I consider it to be fantastic. One, because you've got a lot more sidewalks. So you see people out walking their dogs. You see people just hanging outside a lot more in this neighborhood. And you'll see, we won't get into the types of housing right now, but you'll see a lot more that have front porches. So this is an active community where they support each other, they do community events, and people, like to be together. But the stores here are very modern. When you think of like 8th Avenue, and 12th Avenue and some of the boutique stores that are along there, same type of thing that you've got here. Very, very walkable, very friendly, and very well kept. And you want people that are gonna, take care of their houses. You want people that are gonna take care of their yards. You want people that have pride in where they live and also are looking out for their neighbors. This is one of those communities. And I think whoever is, overlooking the Edgehill area, they do a lot to promote it, which I think is great. When you go to East Nashville, you don't see a lot of signs, that you would necessarily know that you're in East Nashville. Or you go to Sylvan Park, or you go to, even Green Hills. Like, how do you really know that you're in Green Hills? But when you're in the Edgehill area, you're gonna have a good idea. And people do actually hang out on their front porches. It's not just for decoration. And you do have more than just the kind of craftsman or the bungalow. You do have some Tudor homes. Probably one of the widest varieties. Honestly, you've got some Victorian, you've got a little bit of everything flavor-wise. You do have some modern, you've got some buildings that have been restored. Some of them have been restored to be able to use for apartments. Some of them have been restored to be used as condos. So you've got some historic stuff here, and most of it, I think, has stayed more historic. When you look at the gentrification, some of the other areas, there's a lot of tear down and modern stuff that's been built. For the price point here, most of it has stayed a little bit historic, but this is what I wanted to point out. I think this is awesome. Like when you've got somebody that lives in a neighborhood and they're like putting this on the mailbox, that's not common. Like, I mean, you don't have many houses downtown, but even, you know, in an apartment building or what, you don't have somebody putting that on their door or on their mailbox in most of the other areas. So we're gonna do a little bit of a quick 360 here just to give an idea of the typical houses that are here. And we're gonna go to multiple different areas as well to give you guys a feel. And I love that these people are out running, because I'm telling you, this is an active community where people are out amongst each other. A lot of people go out and they'll go get coffee together or whatnot. We've got a couple other areas we're going to be showing you. We're going to show you 3 different price points. So if you want to be in the Edgehill area, there's multiple different options, and proximity to the city, proximity to the Gulch, proximity to downtown Nashville, absolutely fantastic for you to be able to get a yard, sidewalks, and all of the things that you get here. So I can't wait to show you what's next. We're talking about the 21 different areas of Nashville, giving you the vibe so you can find your tribe. So if your vibe is, man, I've got a little bit of a tighter budget, that's great. So an example would be the house behind me. So it just sold recently, 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 1,512 square feet, built in 1976, sold for $420,000. Now, I want to keep this in perspective because today's September 1st, 2025. So the housing market here in Nashville is down. This property behind me was listed for $499, sold for $420. It's a buyer's market here in Nashville. So if you're coming to buy in September of 2026 or 2027, this house very well could be back up to its normal value of $500 or $525, maybe a little bit of appreciation by then. So want to keep that in mind. But the point is that if you're moving here to Nashville and you want to be in the Edgehill area, and literally you are minutes from downtown, we've got some great housing for you. So let's walk around a little bit. This is a great neighborhood. So even on, you know, a little bit lower end of the price point, the houses, I mean, 1,500 square feet. Like first house I lived in was maybe 1,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and there are some cute houses. So let's catch back here a little bit because I want to show them some of the newer stuff. Now I will say in the Edgehill area, there is a lot of houses that are for lease. So if you don't want to be in a neighborhood where there's a lot of renters, that may be something to consider. But the value, holy cow, the value is here. One type of buyer that we see a lot in the Edgehill area, and a lot of it is because of the price point, but also the proximity to Music Row, is up and coming musicians. I mean, some of these across the street, they're gorgeous. But when we were talking about leases, you know, you've got a lot of the townhomes, 3-bedroom, single family townhomes, whole row of them. And I mean, these are newer construction that you can get into. I don't do leases. If you need leases, I'm not the guy to be able to help you. I can help you buy or sell a house or work with investment properties, but I just want to let you know what's available. Your starting point is going to be in the 400s. There's really nothing that you're going to find here that's going to start with a 3. And to be honest, most of your even, you know, lower end homes, and I don't mean that to sound bad. I mean it to sound more cost effective. How about that? More cost effective homes are going to be more in the 600 range. More of your median priced homes are going to be in like the 1.2 to 1.4 million dollar range, maybe 1.6. And some of your nicer homes in the Edgehill area are going to be closer to around 2.5 million. So, but I love that. I love that there's something for everybody. We're going to stop for just a second. This is not something that you see very often, especially this close to Nashville, where you've got just an open lot. So I'm not sure if the neighbors own a double lot. My guess is that, you know, you've got steps that are here. Probably an investor owns this and is just holding it, waiting for the market to recover, and then is going to sell it for somebody to be able to build. But this close to Nashville, and you'll see from some of the footage, because we have the best videographer in the business that's videoing this stuff. You'll be able to see in the background the proximity to Nashville. Guys, this is quiet. Like, I'm whispering right now and you can still hear me, not just because I have an awesome mic, but because there's not a lot of noise, there's not a lot of riffraff, there's not just a lot of commotion. And I mean, we're like a 5-minute drive, no more than 10-minute drive to be able to go to Nashville. So that's amazing. And again, I keep bringing up the sidewalks because of the walkability piece is a pretty big deal. Now, most of the houses here, not all of them, but I would say most do have a driveway, like this house that we're next to. But garages, you're really not gonna find garages. And again, when you look at a neighborhood, you've got to look at when were most of the houses built. So with a lot of the houses in this area, some of them were built in the late 1800s. A lot of them were built pre-1960. So a lot of the houses back then didn't have garages. Street parking is very common here. The streets are wide enough to where you can park on both sides. So, but if having a garage is important, because a garage means something different to everybody, right? Sometimes a garage is just convenient, so you're not getting wet when you are unloading the groceries from your car, or your car isn't as cold or as warm depending on the time of the year. And for some people, it's like a security thing for privacy, so you don't know when you're home. People don't know when you're home or when you're gone. If garages is an important thing for you, you can find them here, and this couldn't have been set up any better. We've got a house coming up, one of the new constructions. And so if you get one of the newer constructions, not all of them, but a good bit of them do have a garage. So this has a 2-car garage right here in the Edgehill area. That's pretty cool. You've got a balcony upstairs. This is a nice house, and it just happened to be on the market. So good luck to you, Josh. Hope you sell it. Yeah. So just want to walk a little bit on the sidewalk, give you a feel of the area. It's not going to be uncommon to see people walking up and down the sidewalks. We're not going to go all the way down to the end of the street, but you would be shocked at the number of people that are walking down there. So it's a very mobile neighborhood. So next we're going to go to the mid-priced homes and give you a little bit of that flavor. We can't do a tour of Edgehill without getting the polar bear in there, because the polar bear is the mascot of Edgehill. So you'll see these guys everywhere. You may not see little statues like this, but you'll see them on signs, and you'll see them really everywhere. So, and man, I mean, aren't they cute and cuddly? Cute and cuddly. They got some snowballs in their hand. Now, it's 2-on-1, and they may be polar bears, but I'm from Wisconsin, baby. I know how to throw a snowball. So y'all can both bring it on. What you got? What you got? I'm quick, baby. I'm quick like a cat. Cat versus a bear. I'm gonna take them both out. But seriously, pride of the neighborhood. That's why we're showing these. You can't go a couple blocks without knowing that you're in Edgehill. Pride of ownership, baby. All right, can you get a decent sized lot in the Edgehill area? Well, look to my right. Now we're getting more in the mid-priced homes. So we're getting more in that $1 million to $1.6 million price point. And man, look at you see the polar bear back there on the fence line, super cool. We're getting into, it's a big difference, right? Between $500,000 to $1 million to 1.5, 1.6. You ain't mowing your own lawn. They've got an electric little lawnmower out there to do it. Across the street here, we've got, a nice G-Wagon. So some of these are gonna be newer construction. So when you start getting into the newer construction in the Edgehill area, because of the cost of the lots, you're really not gonna get into anything new. I mean, you might find something, but it's gonna be challenging, under around $1 million. So even some of these where they had a tear down and then they put a couple houses on the same lot, these are gonna be over the $1.2 million range. So I wanna give you a feel of what the middle price homes look like, kind of what that area looks like. One, You're hearing a little bit more traffic because you're getting closer to some of the main thoroughfares. Now, to give you perspective, we're only 3 minutes away from where we were on the lower price homes. So do you really want to pay, you know, $500,000 to $1 million more to be 3 minutes closer to downtown Nashville? That's up to you. That's a personal choice. And not to say that you won't find some lower price homes that are here as well, but it's just going to be challenging. I don't know if they can see down here, but man, I mean, we are, you know, that 3 minutes, we basically cut the distance almost in half to where you're getting really close to downtown Nashville. So we probably are 4 minutes away here. So to go from 7 to 4 minutes away, your price point's going to be significantly different. Again, even with some of these newer construction ones, you're not going to have a garage. You're going to have, and some of these don't have driveways either for some of the newer constructions. So you're like, man, am I going to pay over $1 million and not have a garage and not even have a driveway to park my car? I'm going to be parking my car on the street. Yeah, depending on what part of Edgehill that you're in, that may be a possibility. And I'm not here to sell you on Edgehill. Whatever area of Nashville that you want to buy in, I'll help you. But I'm just trying to give you, you know, the pluses and the minuses. So mid-priced homes, this house behind, I think, fits perfect in that category. So it's a new build, a little bit more modern looking, has a lot of character to it. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a little bit over 3,100 square feet, 3,156. Built in 2018, so newer construction. And it sold for right at 1.1 million. So some things to keep in mind. We mentioned there's not a driveway, there's not a garage, and this is an attached unit. So it's almost like, you know, kind of a high-end duplex where you're buying one side, but there is a possibility you could hear some noise of your neighbors. But you're also paying 1.1, and if you know, were completely detached, you had a garage, and you know, obviously you had your own driveway if you have a garage, you're gonna be looking at closer to that 1.5, 1.6. So is it, you know, are you gonna make some concessions to be able to save $400,000, $500,000? The people behind us decide to make that decision. And I'm sure it's a wonderful property. So we're gonna add in a little bit of bonus footage here in this mid-price point. Why am I doing this? I've already shown like some houses on the other street that were more of those mid-price homes. I'm just trying to give you a better feel, the vibe, so you can find your tribe to see if Edgehill is for you. Because especially if you're coming in from out of country, you know, out of state, maybe out of country, or even within Nashville, this will save you a lot of driving around, a lot of time. It's stuff that you can't really, I haven't found anything like this on the internet. We looked at our 1.1, then right next door, you've got a, you know, 1950s ranch, very likely another 1940s to 60s ranch right next door. Then next door to this, man, I love that blue, that dark blue. You've got, you know, it looks like this one's been renovated, brand new roof, new fence, obviously painted on the outside. The windows look new as well. So you've got a renovated house. So we're steps away from the $1.1 million house. And then across the street here, we've got lower income housing, and it goes all the way down as far as you can see down the street. And then the people that bought this lot, they built in the front and in the back. It looks like they built a total of 8 units that they built here. And I mean, these are very modern, new construction, 3-story buildings that just look beautiful. And then we talked about all the people out walking in the neighborhood. Then right next to you, you've got this one, probably would be challenging to tear down because of the historic value here. But then right next door to that, you've got 3 stories. Next to that, you've got 3 stories as well with a rooftop deck on each side. Now, both of these are, they call them attached HPRs. So you've got 2 attached HPRs that are right next to each other. Again, why am I showing you this? I want to show you that this is a melting pot. That you've got, when we say everything, you've got everything that's right next to each other. It's just different, right? Like, it's not just, hey, this little pocket right here is commercial and this is just residential, and This is high-end housing, this is mid housing, this is low housing. Right next to that attached HPR that we had, we've got, you know, another, that might be a 1940s ranch. And then you've got a commercial property, somebody that took a residence, turned it into a commercial property, another commercial property right next to that, another commercial property right next to that. And then we talked about all those churches that were built, you know, in the 1860s to 1960s. This is very likely one of those, the Edgehill United Methodist Church. You don't see that in every neighborhood. I mean, we just went from, you know, all over the place. New construction, historic. We went to attached HPRs, $1 million homes, low-income houses, Methodist church, commercial properties. This is all in a block. This is all in a block. We ain't done yet, people. We ain't done yet. We got for the big ballas out there, we got the high-end stuff that we're gonna be showing you. Some really nice stuff. And you know, we always throw in a park. We ain't got to the park yet, so we got more good stuff for you. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. Show you love. I'm showing you love. Show me love back. And yeah, we got more good stuff for you. So let's talk about some of the pluses of the Edgehill area. So you have a lot of cultural depth here. You've got a lot of inclusivity. And so that leads to a very tight-knit community. You've got a lot of pride in the community. You see the little Edgehill polar bears throwing snowballs. You better watch out, it might get you. You see them everywhere throughout the community. I mean, they say, you are in Edgehill, you are in our backyard, in the best of ways. They're very proud of their community. We talked about the variety of types of houses here. It may be the most diverse in any area of Nashville. When you look at the different types, historics, the types of buildings that have been restored, the historical charm, the new construction, and all of it just mixed up together. Let's look at some of the minuses in the Edgehill area. So one of the minuses is that certain areas, especially if you get close to Music Row, it's nice to be close to Music Row, right? I mean, that's a plus. But when you get closer to Music Row, the traffic is gonna be not the best. You're gonna have also a lot of noise in those areas. So that is not something that's great either. So one of the negatives, and it's a plus, but it can also be a negative, is if you like stability. So what do I mean by that? Is that, you know, one house is gonna be very similar to your neighbor's house, which is gonna be very similar to your neighbor's house. Not cookie cutter, but still, like if you know, maybe all of the homes are historical, or maybe all the homes are modern. And if you don't like variety, then this probably is not going to be the area for you. 21 areas in Nashville. We're in Edgehill, giving you the vibe so you can find your tribe. Now we're going to be looking at some of the higher end houses in the Edgehill area. So your high end houses are going to be anywhere between like the 1.6 up to about $2.5 million. Man, some of these houses are awesome. So we got the house beside me here. I love the blue. Blue's my favorite color on the outside, but very inviting. So you'll notice as we're on a street with a little bit higher end homes, a little bit more expensive homes, the landscaping's up there a little bit, but just because they're more expensive, a lot of these more expensive homes are not new construction. I mean, this is beautiful. Like, this is out of like a storybook. I mean, I love the front porch. I love the design. I mean, everything about this is so welcoming. The sunflowers here, it's like, welcome to my abode. One thing about Edgehill is that you can't make a global statement about anything. So this isn't like everybody that's here, but I would say a majority of the people here, I could say that with confidence. Man, I gotta pause, my ADD. This is another beautiful home. Again, look at that front porch, and these are all restored 1920s homes that they've just come in and said, hey, I want the character and I want the charm. I want the historical feel. but I want all the new stuff on the inside. And there's a lot of houses here where that's been done, because this looks like one that an investor would buy to revitalize and do something similar to what was done next door. So this is common here to see this done. Now, my ADD sometimes gets the best of me, so we're gonna go back to where we were. This is a community where the majority of the people are really against gentrification. They're very pro-revitalization, so taking some of the older homes and revitalizing them, but they're not about, you know, moving out some of the people that have lived here for a long time and tearing down the houses and building new. We've shown you that that does happen here, but as a community, there's a little bit of a push against that. So you don't see that as much. Now this is cute. We're gonna feature this house here. But you've got the little Edgehill bear with the snowball that's on the post of the house. Normally the houses that I feature are all closed houses. And I wanna keep it accurate. So there really wasn't any closed houses within the last 3 months in the Edgehill area that really hit that higher price point. So we're including the house behind me. It's a coming soon house, built in 1920, a little bit over 4,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 5 full baths, a half bath, and they're putting it on the market for $1.695. So it's not on the market yet. It'll be coming on the market this coming week, September 6th. So free marketing for you guys. Hope you enjoy it. But really the more expensive stuff in the Edgehill market, a lot of it is some of these older homes that have that historical value where they've come in, gutted a lot of them down to the studs, and redone the floor plan on the inside to make it much more of a modern feel. So if you want to go to a park to go play with the kiddos, or if you're like me, a big kiddo, and you want to go play at a park, we're going to show you one of the local parks as well, one of them that's closest to the Edgehill area, and give you a feel for what that's like next. All right, so here we are at ES Rose Park, Edgehill area, 21 areas of Nashville, giving you the vibes. You can find your tribe. We got to give you the vibe of like the local parks as well. We always try to feature one park, but guys, a couple things I got to mention about this park. So first of all, look at the views of downtown from this park. That's going to be a little bit tough to beat. And you've got tons of, you know, kid stuff that's over here that you can play on. I mean, I'm a little tempted myself, I gotta say. And then right over here, right over this buildings, you've got Belmont, which the higher end houses, that street that we were going up and down, literally you walk to the end of that block and you walk right into Belmont University. So Edgehill, and you know, we've done a video series on Belmont Boulevard. Those two are right next to each other. Just want to mention that fact. We're gonna go take a tour of the park. One cool thing about this park is that you can actually walk on the grass. Some of the parks, you know, they've literally got signs, don't go on the grass, or you need permits to be able to use multiple areas of the park other than the paved trails. This is not one of those parks. So up the hill here, you've got some picnic tables. You've got, you know, just some walking trails that you can go on. You've got more picnic areas that are up there. I mean, it's pretty incredible that what they've got here. So if you can't tell, the views, especially once you get up on top of the hill, are breathtaking. So videographer Luke brought up a great point. Like if you just hung out in Nashville for the day, and with the close proximity of this park and the views, you just come up here, you know, maybe bring a picnic and just chill for a little bit, relax, get your energy back, and just get revitalized. This is incredibly peaceful up here. Incredibly peaceful. And with you being a little bit higher up, you get a little bit more breeze than what you do, especially when you're downtown. But yeah, I mean, this is a great little path to be able to walk on. And I mean, it just keeps going. I mean, you've got multiple areas where if you want to meet friends and have a get together, and they're far enough apart where you can have a good amount of privacy. So we got to pan this way. We got to, for the people. We got to do it for the people. I'm getting in the grass with my nice shoes, but I mean, look at this. There's nobody, I mean, there's nobody within probably 300 yards of us at least. You could lay out a blanket here, have that as your backdrop. You know, have some sandwiches, soda, and that's your view. Incredibly peaceful. Just here, just a little bit of a soft roar of some of the traffic going on in the background, but it's pleasant. It's not like disruptive at all. So let's get a shot back here just to show how the park keeps going and some of the, you know, other picnic areas that's back there. Really a surprise gem. Like if you asked people about this park in Nashville, I don't know that how many people even know about it. I feel like if more people did, there'd be more people up here. I almost don't want to leave, but we got work to do, people. For you, the people, we got to keep going. So I do want to say thank you for hanging out with us today. Thank you for checking out the Edgehill area, and we hope that it's your vibe. But if not, guess what? We got 20 other areas of Nashville that you can explore to find what you're looking for. If you want to reach out, got my contact information down below. But we hope that this is of value to you. Like and subscribe. Leave some comments, some stuff that you guys, additional things that you'd like to see or things that you liked. Open to that feedback. So hope you have a great day. Appreciate you hanging out with us, and take care.